Okay, so today we did the measurement, right?
Yeah.
It's our last week of cutting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are listening right now. This is a good measurements to go off of. So we started at 135 pounds, which is nothing crazy. I mean, you weren't overweight, but you were sitting at 32.4% body fat. That's when we first started.
Yeah.
As of today, tell everybody where you're at today.
I'm at 22.3% body fat.
22.3%, guys. And she's been with me since July 22nd, and we increased your metabolic rate remember the first 8 weeks of that? You were eating so much food.
I was eating a lot.
And you were losing inches at the same time. Because I remember, July through September, and I fed you so much food, you went from 32% down to 26%. And then we started cutting. I think we started our cut like October, if I believe.
Yeah, September,
October, and dropping inches. Today she's sitting at 22% body fat.
You fed me a lot of food and I did not trust you for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously you know what you're doing, but do you really? I was definitely concerned for a minute because I'm like, how am I gonna lose weight and lose fat when I'm eating so much food?
Did it work?
Oh yeah. 100%.
It's weird. And the reason why she mentioned that, guys, I have a lot of clients that go through our program, and the ones that are successfully have a really good transformation just like you, they trust the program, they trust me, and then at the end they're like, I cannot believe how much I was eating every single time. I do this video all the time, but I think people still can't hear it. Like they listen, but they just can't hear it. It's two different things, right? And let's talk about inches really quick, right? So your waist, we started at 28%. Today you're sitting at 26.9%. You drop your hips as well. I think that's where we hold the most, and your body likes to hold it there a little bit. So you went from 39 inches down to 37.9 inches, which is amazing. Let's talk about this really quick. And this is something that we do differently. Normally I ask questions out there, we're working out, but today we're gonna do something really different, right? What are your experience with the program from beginning to beginning and then to an end? Like, what do you experience, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally?
I think the thing that I've been most surprised about is how much I've learned. I've learned so much that I can take it into my life forever, right? I've learned how to eat, I've learned how to exercise, I've learned that I can do everything. It's hard. I think also you take, I don't know, the fitness industry is really amazing, but it has like kind of like a bad rap.
Yeah.
But I think what people don't understand, focusing on your body changes everything else in your life. You become more confident. I think it's easy for us to just be content with who we are. We're supposed to be happy and love our bodies, and we are.
We do.
To some extent, and we do. But I think it's really easy for people to just say, I'm happy with who I am. And I've found that going to what some people would consider an extreme changes how you feel about yourself, and you feel better. And so when you feel better, you have more energy.
Yeah. You feel like
motivation.
You could be
No, I don't know. But you have the grit to like continue improving other things in your life.
Yeah. You feel like you're a better mom.
Yeah.
Better partner.
Better, yeah, everything.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, a lot of you know, some of you may not, but her husband actually started his journey, over a year ago, and he lost 100 pounds.
He's at like 120 now.
120 pounds. Shout out to Ryan. The fact that he's been able to lose 120 pounds is amazing, amazing, amazing. And so I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that you guys are both doing it together. And I know he's doing his own thing, but you're doing, I'm coaching you with it. But also at the same time, would it be a lot harder if he wasn't at that point, if he wasn't eating what he was eating, if he wasn't into that fitness or health?
Absolutely. I think having him to support me and having me there to support him has been the biggest aspect of his or my success.
Do you guys go to the gym together?
Oh yeah, every morning.
Every morning. What time?
5.
5.
Yep.
Tell people how many kids you have.
We have 5 kids.
From age, what's the age?
13 and is the oldest, and then 7-year-old twins are my youngest.
You and your husband going to the gym every morning at 5 o'clock?
Yep, from 5 to 7.
Do you bring your kids or no?
Today?
Sometime? No,
to the gym? Sometimes on Saturdays they'll come with us.
They come, but most of the time they don't. But also the coolest thing is coming from a mom perspective, and I really want you to engage with the moms that are watching this, because I do have a lot of moms watching my program, and I have a lot of moms in my program as well, our program I should say. So what are your advice as a mom of 5, that the people, and some moms they feel stuck. They feel like they can't do more because they don't have time. because I have a full-time job, maybe 2 jobs to support the family, and some of them might just be a single mom, right? So what are your advice in terms of fitness? If you're talking to yourself right now, what would you say? What advice would you give yourself or to all the moms out there?
Well, the reason that I started with you is because as a mom, I'm like so busy. You know, I work full time. I have 5 kids. I homeschool them.
Yeah. Whoa, what? You work full time and you homeschool them?
Yeah. Well, I got to the point where I realized that I wasn't doing anything for myself. I didn't want to be in that place anymore. As Ryan had spent a lot of time focusing on himself, I had seen how he had become a better person and improved in so many different ways. And then I wanted that for myself. So that's when I hired you as my coach, because I needed to do something for me. And at first I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like maxed out. But I found that I wasn't maxed out. Like even now I can push harder. I can always do more. Yeah. There's always room for more.
So how do you manage your food and your schedule with the families? Like,
it hasn't been as hard as I thought it was going to be. I meal prep. Ryan and I eat essentially the same thing, slightly different obviously, but we both eat a lot of chicken and rice. And the kids, they like to have what we have. They eat a lot of chicken and rice too, but you know, they're old enough also that we're trying to teach them how to make their own foods.
Healthy foods.
Yeah. So a lot of times they'll have oatmeal or eggs for breakfast, lunch, you know, like a turkey sandwich. You know, I try to teach them the importance of macros and just be like, you know, let's get your proteins and your carbs in.
The essentials.
I never learned anything about that growing up, right?
Yeah.
And I think that...
Me neither.
Yeah. And I can only imagine how that would have changed my life, just knowing simple macros, the simple basic steps of just keeping your body like full of energy
100%
and vitality.
And the crazy thing too, because I have a son now, right? And so people make fun of me, especially, you know, my family members. I'm like, oh, so he doesn't eat bacon, he doesn't eat like normal pancakes, he doesn't eat like ice cream or whatever. My son eats the same thing. My son eats the same thing we eat. But sometimes, yeah, we get a donut. Sometimes we go get a cheat meal. We'll go get a pizza, burger, fries. Like, he loves those. But that's once every week, or maybe once every 2 weeks that he can have that. Most of the time we make food at home. And so I like what you're saying, because we're teaching our kids to be better and understand that it's okay to have these things, right? The candies and the ice cream, but it's also more important to have the balance of eating the right kind of macros. And I think parents nowadays, a lot of parents have no idea what they're even eating, and then when they feed their kids, then it's even worse, because they don't know how to cook, and then they do something more processed, quick, easy, microwavable stuff. And I see that from all the time. I see it all the time with a lot of parents. And when they come into my office and I'm teaching them how to eat properly, you're also teaching your kids to eat better as well, which is awesome, which is wonderful. So these are good advice. Any last minute advice for all the moms out there?
Advice for the moms. It's hard to put yourself first, but you find that when you do, you have more to give to everyone else.
Boom. If your cup is full, then you can give.
Then you can use the extras.
Exactly. If your cup is empty,
everyone else, there's nothing to give you or them.
Love it. Boom.